If you're not living on the edge, you're taking up too much space.
It's every day, bro. I said it's every day, bro.
Hold on. He may have launched his career on Vine, but nowadays, it's hard to spend too long on YouTube without stumbling upon one of Jake Paul's videos. Despite only being in his early 20s, this rising star has a net worth of $19 million, and he knows exactly how to spend it. Jake began publishing videos on Vine in September of 2013, when he was 16 years old. His videos had been streamed more than 2 billion times by the time he had jumped over to YouTube. Now, this social media celebrity spends his days creating viral videos that his audiences love to spend their days laughing at. And here's how he's spending his dollars. The celebrity wedding on everybody's lips at the moment is the Vegas event that took place between Jake Paul and Tana Mongeau, with an estimated total cost of $500,000. It's fair to say that Jake was prepared to put a lot of money into celebrating his life with his fiancée. In true YouTuber style, the wedding featured everything from a Game of Thrones sword to a massive mid-ceremony brawl. The ceremony was held at the mansion of Team 10's event manager Armani Azadi, who also officiated. Despite the fact that the pair had only been dating for a few months before they tied the knot, they went all out for the big day. Even if the wedding might not have been quite as official as they initially made out, the wedding started with Jake flying out all of the guests of honor on a private jet, where the entire bridal party started celebrating in full force. Then when the team arrived in Vegas, celebrations continued. Decorations including a wall made entirely of roses outside the graffiti mansion, before Tana was walked down the aisle by her manager, Jordan Warona. A ton of photographers were at the ceremony, as was a film crew recording the whole event for an episode of Monju's MTV reality show, Tana Turns 21. Tana's wedding ring came with a price tag of $300,000 according to Page 6. That's a little more than what her engagement ring with a reported value of $125 set Jake back. There were a ton of sweet treats for guests to enjoy, compliments of Sugar Factory, where the reception was held. Jake Paul was barely out of his teenage years when he dropped millions of dollars on a 15,000 square foot mansion in Los Angeles' Calabasas City. It might be a dream for many of us, but for a YouTuber with his net worth, it seemed like an appropriate next step. Jake's Calabasas property features winding staircases, huge stretches of ground, and plenty of room for parties. It has 8 bedrooms, 10 full bathrooms, a chilled wine closet, and spa bath in the master bedroom. Outside, the grounds include a pool with multiple waterfalls, 2 barbecue pits, and a Tesla charging station, with the entire property overlooking the city over the hill. Paul's decision to buy the mansion could have been influenced by his brother Logan's recent purchase of a $6.5 million home in Los Angeles' Encino neighborhood. Jake had issues with his previous house in West Hollywood with fans camping outside, but the Calabasas mansion offers enough privacy to hopefully deter Jake's fans. Since moving in, Jake's held multiple parties at the mansion with guests like Bella Thorne and Chris Brown in attendance. Before Jake moved into his Calabasas home, he was renting a place in West Hollywood. If you've watched many of his videos, you'll notice that his house stars in quite a few of them as the background to some of his pranks, which perhaps unsurprisingly, Jake's old landlord wasn't very happy about. But don't think that Jake was slumming it in this Hollywood house, because even renting the place cost him around $17,000 per month. Jake had to give up a $40,000 security deposit before he could move into the property, which has an estimated worth of a staggering $10 million. His neighbors weren't really fans of Jake by the time he and his friends moved out, because he would regularly publicize his address. Maybe it's a good thing that he moved to Calabasas. Jake is a fan of fast cars, and he's managed to invest in a few with his vast income. His favorite car is his Lamborghini, which obviously he bought brand new. But Jake doesn't just own any old Lamborghini, but a Lamborghini Huracan Performante. This bright blue vehicle comes with a price tag of hundreds of thousands of dollars and looks perfectly placed just outside of his Calabasas mansion. Being a true petrol head, it seems Jake is wasting no time supercharging his Huracan Performante. According to a video posted by VF Engineering on their Instagram, the Performante will produce close to 900 horsepower after fitting the supercharger kit. The Huracan Performante is already one powerful supercar, creating 640 horsepower from its 5.2-liter V10 engine. But that's not the only car that Jake owns. He also has a Tesla Model X, which is thought to cost between $132,000 and $143,000. Ranked in 2016 as 7th among the world's best-selling plug-in cars, the Model X has a top speed of between 130.5 to 155.3 miles per hour and can hit 60 miles per hour in as little as 3.2 seconds. But he's not only splashing out on cars for himself. For a start, Jake bought Tana a Mercedes-Benz G-Wagon car for her birthday. Buying a new G-Wagon can cost up to $147,500, but what makes the investment even more impressive is that Tana can't really drive. It seems that lessons from Jake himself were another part of the present. Jake also bought a Cadillac DeVille for his best friend Chad, just for challenging him to jumping over his old car. Chad succeeded, and Jake bought Chad his dream car, the ultimate American muscle car that has up to an 8.2-liter V8 engine. What are friends for? If that wasn't enough, Jake also bought his dad a gorgeous and no doubt expensive Harley Davidson, just to say thank you for being such a great parent. His mom didn't skip out on the gift giving, but she didn't get a car. We'll get to her present soon enough. Jake might do some rather lovely things with his money, but not all of it gets spent in quite as wholesome a way. One of Jake's most famous examples of spending money on perhaps not the best cause was when he filmed a whole group of people jumping off the roof of a truck and onto a trampoline. Jake reportedly bought the truck along with the trampoline underneath. Another time, Jake bought a BMW just to crush it. It looks like a sleek and beautiful machine until Jake decided to crush it with his armored truck for millions of hits online. Want a third example? One time, Jake emptied a swimming pool and allegedly made it into a huge fire pit. That might be the reason as to why he didn't get the deposit back. It's no secret that Jake Paul's YouTube videos are top quality, and that's because he puts a lot of time and effort into filming and editing them. The professional quality of his videos is a huge part as to why they're so popular, so it makes sense that he wants the best equipment in the industry. When recording his comedic videos, Jake uses a Sony a7S Mark II camera. The body for this piece of equipment costs around $2,500, and that's without all the lenses and stabilizing equipment also needed to make those top quality videos. Jake also owns a large variety of editing software and tripods, all the things that come together to give him the videos that his audience adores. In total, we'd estimate that Jake has spent around $10,000 on filming and editing equipment. Well, we said we'd get to that gift that Jake bought very generously for his mom, and now it's time to reveal just that. Jake has a penchant for fancy watches. And when we say fancy, we mean more than your monthly salary fancy. One Christmas, as well as giving his mom $10,000 cash, Jake and his brother Logan treated their mom to a brand new Rolex watch with a price tag of around $20,000. It was certainly a generous gift and definitely showed mom just how much she means to her sons. Jake also got himself a new watch with a slightly higher price tag. He treated himself to a Diamond Audemars watch, costing $100,000. This diamond-covered Rolex is one of the nicest watches on the planet and now sits tightly on Jake Paul's wrist. He purchased this watch for his 21st birthday, and the Royal Oak stainless steel watch is literally covered in 18.5 karat diamonds and is water-resistant up to 100 meters. When Jake wanted to add hip-hop star to his resume, he still had to bring out the big dollars to get his name heard. But that didn't stop him from getting his name firmly on at least one track. It was none other than Gucci Mane who recently jumped on the remix to Paul's hit, It's Everyday Bro. It might have seemed like a strange pairing, especially because Jake and Gucci seem to have very different audiences and fans. But Gucci was prepared to branch out, but only for some cold hard cash. So if you thought that this musical pairing happened organically, you thought wrong.
It's kind of getting confusing.
And the total cost for Gucci to sing with Jake? $250,000 of your finest American dollars. It might not have been Gucci's most impressive pairing, but for $250,000, we're not surprised that he agreed. Appearance is key when you're a YouTuber, and your income and success depend on what you look like on screen. Jake is known for having a love of designer brands, and keeping up a certain appearance is very important to him. And what better accessory is there to pair with designer clothes than a range of tattoos? Jake has a few tattoos, and we're betting that he visits an expensive tattoo studio to get them done. Most recently, he and Tana got matching tattoos to show their love for one another, because nothing says undying love quite like indelible ink. The pair spent some time deciding and tweeting which tattoos to get to commemorate their relationship before picking a tallygraph design with a mark for every week they've been together. The last thing that we'll cover today is undoubtedly the cutest. And we're not talking about Jake's brother Logan. Nope, we're talking about Jake's adorable pet dog. In August of 2016, Jake bought a puppy for the Team 10 house. The puppy's name is Apollo, and its breed is a Belgian Malinois. Of course, this pooch has its very own social media channels, and you can check for regular updates on Apollo's day-to-day activities via Instagram and Twitter. Nope, we didn't know that dogs could use Twitter either. This dog breed, according to dog experts, is only bought by people who are very experienced in handling pets, because it's not one of those pets that are easy to manage for beginners. We're not sure if Jake took this into account before purchasing Apollo, but the cute creature seems pretty happy with his luxury lifestyle so far.